Major League Baseball welcomes you to the following presentation of the Cincinnati Reds.
Back in the Lone Star State with a win in tow, the Reds seek 2 in a row. They try to secure the series against the Rangers. And a pleasant good evening. Welcome on back to Reds Baseball. Alongside our closer, the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley, I'm John Sadak. Jim Day is with us in just a matter of moments while some Reds are getting right. Some Cincinnati sluggers off to sluggish starts. Just a week in, we saw Tyler Stevenson break through in a big way.
We did, John, and it was a couple of guys in that lineup that started to really figure it out in the bottom of the lineup. And you've got to have it up and down. It can't just be one side every single night. Tyler Stevenson last night, boy, did he look awfully good. And he came off a real big struggle coming into this ball game. You see a swing and a miss at a pitch right there. It's all about getting timing, especially early in the season. Tyler Stevenson, he got his timing right with that ball he shot into right field early in the ball game, and later he shoots one not only into right field but into the bullpen, a game winner. When you hit a ball like that in the 9th inning, that's all everybody wants to talk about the next day.
That proved to be the difference for the Reds, but he could not do that by himself. That home run was informed largely by the other hero in the game as we go down to Jim Day for the breakthrough of Spencer Steer.
John, last year, Spencer Steer literally took one for the team. He was injured, had no business playing, but because of need, he played at the expense of his own personal stats. Off to another slow start this year, but it's funny how adversity can pay off in the future. 1 for 17 start to the season this year, but finally yesterday, perhaps a springboard. It started to click. There was a 2-run home run in the 2nd that got the Reds going, and then in the 9th, ahead of Tyler Stevenson, he leads off the 9th inning with a leadoff double. It set up Stevenson for that game-winning home run. And Steer calls back on the adversity he went through last season.
Punch in the mouth. I kept getting back up. I feel like there's a lot of times last year where I could have folded, and I chose not to. You know, and that's a decision you got to make every single day because baseball is nowhere to hide when you're struggling. You got to come back every day and you got to find a way to get something done that day. So I think I was proud of the way I was able to, you know, fight back from a tough start.
And normally a major league team has a utility player on the bench, but John and Jeff, the Reds do not, because Spencer Steer is that utility guy. Defensively, he's really the key to everything.
Yeah, that he is. Plays a little bit of everywhere and helps out this Reds pitching staff with that defensive versatility. And today, that could benefit Rhett Lauder. That did you see in Lauder in turn 1 against the Red Sox?
Well, John, I thought he threw the ball awfully well. He did give up the home run. He gave up a couple runs in that ball game. But the thing about Rhett Lauder, and Jim talked about it with Spencer Steer, the adversity, I mean, to come back from where he has come back from, that's no man's land. Just continues to fight throughout this offseason, getting himself stronger, getting his mechanics even more crisp, and he's been able to execute from the time he got the ball early in spring training. I thought he threw the ball awfully well against what I think is an awfully good Red Sox lineup. A lot of left-handers there. You're going to see fastballs late in the count, changeups, breaking balls early, backwards, if you will. But the one thing that Lauder does, he challenges the strike zone.
A maturity and moxie for this young arm, still very light on major league innings. That's a running theme tonight and tomorrow. We'll go to break. When we're back, we'll have the ignition in Game 2. Rhett Lauder takes on another highly heralded arm and Kumar Rocker.
Hey.
Cincinnati Reds baseball is presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare and the Young Family Cancer Center, a regional leader in cancer care. By your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For all Toyota offers, go to toyota.com. By O'Connor, Achani, and Levy, attorneys you know, attorneys you trust. And by Ray St. Clair Roofing, your trusted problem solver. Give us a call. Just the second hit of the year for Steer, and it's a two-run homer.
Well, you've got to love the aggressiveness there from Steer.
Billy De La Cruz leads it off. That is gone. A line drive laser to snap the tie. Steer the go-ahead run, a good lead off second. That's got some drive and carry. That is gone.
All smiles in that Reds dugout now.
The Reds team that's had some trouble scoring has all its runs today on homers. Reds have leaned on the long ball about 2/3 of their tallies. They're hitting the ball hard for Terry Francona. In fact, the highest exit velo in the majors right now by average belongs to the Cincinnati Reds. Number 2 is the Texas Rangers.
Now, the Reds have done a great job of kind of brother-in-lawing as far as the offense is concerned. No one is smoking hot right now, but yet someone is hot on a given night. It'll be interesting to see who's hot tonight against Kumar Rocker.
We saw some hot contact yesterday. StatCast 3D, Google Cloud. Shots by Steer, De La Cruz, and Stevenson in his patented opposite way. Full 9 for the Reds from St. Elizabeth Healthcare. TJ Friedel is back. He's 2 for 22. He's trying to ignite. McLean, De La Cruz, Stewart, Suarez at third. Lowe, the former Ranger, Steer, Benson, and Trevino's third start of the season. That deliberate wind-up. First pitch from Kumar Rocker, twice a first-rounder. He has a live arm.
He does have a live arm. He's made some adjustments to try to keep from spinning off to the first base side, raising the elbow just a little bit, trying to stay back longer, get on top of the ball.
That is shot foul just early by Friedel.
And that'll be something to watch as the game progresses. The Reds were all over Rocker last year. They hit him as hard as he's probably ever been hit.
He was on the wrong side of the 14-3 Reds win, their only win in that series. 6 runs, 3 innings. Gave up homers to McLean and De La Cruz.
And that's a pitch to watch for, John. The changeup from Rocker was just getting annihilated, and they were trying. The Rangers were trying to figure out a way to get him higher with the elbow so that the changeup had more deception and more downward movement.
Okay, you see a plain difference in the depth, the height of that arm for Rocker, and that impacts everything.
Yeah, just getting higher, you get a better angle. I mean, he's a big fella anyway, but you lose some of that height advantage the lower that you drop the elbow.
Josh Young was shallow. He's now back with 2 strikes, and Rocker misses. He said of the changeup in spring training, he needed it to get to a point where he didn't rent it, he owned it. The organization felt that was critical to his long-term success.
Yeah, I think you have to have that with every pitch. The last thing that you want to do is throw something that you're not confident in.
Payoff up the middle. Eats up Seager a bit, stays with it and makes the play. 1 away. The Texas defense, their best in left and at short. Wyatt Langford has had a great series. Hard contact all 4 times yesterday. Carter and Nimmo on the infield. Young, Seager is a star. Smith, Berger, Danny Jansen a 4th straight start. He's also trying to coach this younger arm. He's 26, but he still had somewhat limited big league innings.
Yeah, I think Rocker's still trying to figure it out. He had a great career at Vanderbilt, but going from major college, and I don't care where you play at, but going from that to this is a whole different animal.
And the idea, as there's something going on in the Texas dugout,
well,
need a glove. Jake Berger
must have broken the pocket of the glove on the throw from Seager.
But that angle for Kumar Rocker, that lower delivery point is led to be thought to be a factor in the arm issues he's had. A well-chronicled Tommy John, shoulder issues that have zapped him at time at multiple levels.
Yeah, I think when you look at the body of Kumar Rocker, you think, boy, this guy is just going to be a flamethrower, and he is. But it takes its toll on the arm when you're not using that body for what it's worth.
Oh, bounced ball. Matt McLain skips it by Josh Young. McLain, who filled in as the leadoff man yesterday and got aboard twice, has a one-out single here tonight.
So this looked like Josh Young just kind of waved at it. The ball's right at him, and instead of sliding those feet over and fielding the ball with the glove, he tries to field it off to the side, and that never ends up well.
Could the Reds run on Rocker? Ellie De La Cruz hit a big homer against him, ball in the dirt. Alertly, McLain easily has second. Jansen lost sight of it for a moment. That'll be a wild pitch.
Well, I've got to believe, John, that the Reds' game plan coming into this ball game is if you've got runners on base with speed, you're going to take advantage of the time that it takes Rocker to deliver the ball to the plate. And he does take a long time to get it loose.
In his limited major league time so far, the big leagues is perfect trying to steal against him. 12 for 12. He does not yet have a pickoff in the big leagues either. De La Cruz homered yesterday.
Well, Rocker is slow as Christmas getting ready to deliver each pitch.
And that was among the many mechanical adjustments when he was shut down last year. This is his first major league outing since the last of July last season. He was demoted, made one minor league start, and then sat for almost 6 weeks while they overhauled what he did on the mound. De La Cruz, broken bat, flare over the leaping Seager. McLain rips around third. He scores easily. Another ribeye for Ellie De La Cruz. Back-to-back base knocks, and the Reds have a 1-0 edge. And the wild pitch pivotal.
And you see where that pitch was. It was well off the outside corner, but with the height and the reach of Ellie De La Cruz, he's able to go out there and get it. That's expanding the plate with a runner in the scoring position and getting the job done.
Now a phenom power hitter could match up well with Rocker. Stewart failed to reach base for the first time this year yesterday.
But you can see where Rocker's steps closed. He steps towards the third baseline, and when his arm comes through, it's away from his body. It's easier for hitters to pick that pitch up.
De La Cruz had a steal against Rocker last year. He does not have a swipe yet this season. Well, Stewart went 0 for 4 yesterday, but did line out to left field. There goes De La Cruz, and that ball is rocketed to right center. That bounces for a hit. De La Cruz sprinting for third. Furious wave is on. Nimmo throwing right is cut in the outfield. De La Cruz scores. Sal Stewart the RBI hit. 2-0 Cincinnati.
There are not many folks in the game of baseball that can run like Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie pretty much came to a stop at second base and then just kicked it into high gear. He's the one guy that you don't really have to worry so much about when you're waving that arm in the third base coach's box.
Now Eugenio Suarez had his first multi-hit game of the year yesterday. First pitch up the middle, in between, takes a skip on Smith. Later break by Stewart, slides in, fours, he's safe. Just beat the toss, and the Reds have 2 on.
That's the case where you get jammed, but the ball had some awfully wicked spin. It just kind of died behind the bag at second. Smith couldn't get to it in the air. He tried to play it on the short hop, but when the ball hit the ground, it bounced back towards left field.
And Cowboy, there's blood in the water right now. 2 runs in, and the powerful bat of former Rangers standout Nathaniel Lowe stands in. They scored an E4 fielder's choice. First pitch chopped to second. Smith looking for redemption. Seager, that's all. They don't double up low. Over to third goes Stewart. And the Reds are hunting first pitches here.
Well, we saw a little bit of that in last night's ball game. A much more aggressive offensive effort from the Reds last night, especially early in the count. You've got Rocker on the mound. He's throwing a lot of first pitch fastballs and get me over breaking balls on the first pitch. Go get him. That's what the Reds are doing.
Spencer Steer, who in his 1-for-17 start did have a good number of line drive outs. Doubled and launched a 2-run homer, scored twice yesterday. Smothered by Jansen. Oh. Fisted flare. Smith from second. Reds put 4 in a row on base and 2 come in. Rhett Lauder staked to an early lead.
Elizabeth.com/Reds.
Now our Kia player profile. Rhett Lauder in his first 7 starts, a 1.5 ERA. Only Tom Browning has had a better ERA in his first 7 Red starts going back to 1913.
Well, Lauder's ability to change speeds within the strike zone with 3 different pitches should help him early against this Ranger offense. None of these guys have seen him, so his ability to throw strikes with all those pitches should help him early.
Lauder burned by Wilyer Abreu homer. That was the at-bat of the day for Boston against him. It was a 9-pitch battle. Brandon Nimmo hits in 6 straight, hitting over 420 in that time after at 0 for on the first day. He got aboard 3 times yesterday, including a triple, one of his 2 hits and a walk.
And you can see Nimmo right away trying to take the kid Lauder out of his rhythm. They know Lauder likes to work quick.
And what a contrast in the 2 young arms.
Yeah. Well, it's like watching concrete cure out there watching Rocker. That's crazy. Your defense hates you.
Lauder sticks a strike.
Every defensive player wants a pitcher that throws strikes, works quick. The last thing you want is to watch a guy walk around the mound and take the pitch clock down to 1 second on every pitch.
Frozen right out of the gate. A backward K for Lauder.
Lauder is aggressive. He works quick and he can hit the edges up, down, in, and out.
Got him on that lower third changeup. Now Wyatt Langford, who I thought had the best ABs by Texas yesterday. Langford finished with 2 hits. The 2 times he was retired, he drilled the ball that was caught in center field. Had a ribby double, also tripled. This one's popped up innocently right side. Stewart foul ground. 2 down.
Yeah, the ball that Langford hit to center field, the one that he hit the hardest, that ball was probably around the shoelaces by the time he made contact, and he still killed it.
Full Rangers 9, very similar to yesterday. Seager to stand in. Berger, Peterson has not yet gotten going. Smith, Young, Carter, and Jansen. Now, Seager's always dangerous, and you could feel that in the air yesterday. But the Reds contained him so far. He's 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. Hard ground ball is through. When he's healthy, Cowboy, he's a legitimate MVP candidate.
No doubt about it. It's just a matter of staying on the field, and he's playing one of the most taxing positions on the field, and that's shortstop.
Jake Berger, who's got plenty of pop. He doubled yesterday, 1 for 4, did strike out once. Light lead for Seager. Brian Hayes gets a day off. Eugenio Suarez gets the nod for a second time at third base. Remember, his other start at third is when he hit his most impactful homer that changed the game against Boston on Sunday. Can there be some tie into that, playing the field, helping your hitting?
I think so. I think it's just, especially early in the season, you're trying to get your timing down. You're trying to get the game timing down.
That's cranked over short, base hit. Back-to-back 2-out knocks.
That's not where Lauder wanted that slider. That one stayed on the plate. 0-2 pitch. He's probably trying to start this on the plate and get it off. It doesn't get off. It starts in and stays in.
Catcher Jose Trevino, who came up with Texas, just stood in front of the plate, relayed defensive signals. Jock Peterson had a sluggish spring, hit a .175. He's 0 for 10 to begin the big league campaign. But in his various unis, he's hit the Reds to a solid number on his career and has done even better these last couple of years. Rangers have thrived with men in scoring position. That ball lifted deep right center. Benson on the track has it right in front of the wall.
SportsGridTV.com.
Reds lead 2-zip. Two teams that hit the ball hard. Will Benson 2 for 13 to begin this year. It goes Rangers, Dodgers, Reds, and exit velo on the young season. Up and away to Benson. All of his at-bats have come against right-handed pitching. He has not yet clicked either. Josh Young on the grass, off the line at third base. Skipped hard to first, handled by Berger. Going to bring up Jose Trevino, who Jim Day was drafted by Texas, debuted with the Rangers, and had a pretty wild first few days in the show.
He believes that divine intervention was involved. His father had just passed away. He was in Double-A and got the unusual call from Double-A to the big leagues because of a player suspension. They told him, kid, you're here to fill the gaps. You're not going to get in the game. Catcher ahead of him rolls his ankle during the game. Gets into that game. Gets a call that night and said, not only you're not going back to the minor leagues, you are starting tomorrow. Gets his first hit and gets it past, of all people, Nolan Arenado. A play that Trevino says he normally makes. He thinks he got some help on that one. Next day, he's a defensive replacement in the 8th. Team is losing by 3 runs. He's hitting deep in the order in the 9th inning as baseball would serve up some bloops, some walks, and all of a sudden he is at the plate with the game on the line. He says to this day, the blooper he hit stayed in the air longer than any blooper I've ever seen fall. It was a walk-off hit. It was on Father's Day when his father had just passed away. A grieving family in the stands, tears flowing. To this day, he thinks his dad had something to do with it.
That's pretty awesome. Now he's right back where his big league career started. DJ Friedel worked a full count his first time Cowboy, grounded out to short.
All about timing. Guys start seeing the ball in different ways, especially once the adrenaline begins to kick in. You'd like to say, well, you had a month of spring training. Surely you're seeing the ball now. It's a whole different game. You're playing in big stadiums, a lot more crowds. There's a lot more adrenaline that goes into it. You're a little more pumped up, a little more jumpy.
And Friedel this year made a few conscious tweaks to his stance, including not nearly as deep of a bent knee squat position. Young shallow at third. And a miss by Rocker. Now Rocker can walk guys. He did so in a very pronounced fashion a couple of years ago. Cut that number down a bit last year, but also saw his strikeout number plummet. And Friedel engineers a walk.
Well, the problem that you have when you're young as a pitcher, you can hit the outside corner, you stay out there. In college, they hit that ball off the end of the bat, or they miss it, or they pop it up. In the big leagues, you're running right into the barrel. That's the pitch they go get. If you don't use the inside part of the plate and make the hands retreat back to the body, you're going to try to start fine printing that outside corner, and it leads to walks and it leads to a lot of runs.
A quick check on Friedel by Rocker. Friedel has 1 steal this year. He had a dozen last year. He's been highly efficient in his stolen base attempts lifetime. And this isn't a terrible time to run, because if McLean's leading off with Ellie batting behind him, that's not a terrible thing. You'd also think McLean's going to see more fastballs. Already has a single and a run scored. Through the heat, 1-1. You saw something in how McLean got somewhat baffled but stayed with off speed for a pulled single yesterday.
Yeah, I thought he was able to keep his hands back rather well. And I think by doing that, the one pitch that you become susceptible to is the fastball up and in, because that's the pitch you have to really get inside of and shoot the other way. And we've seen him do that a couple of times. That he hasn't shot it that way, but he's flared it into right field for a base hit.
That's into right field, foul.
Like that.
By the way, before that last pitch, a noticeable twist of the shoulder by Josh Young at third base. Remember, McLean bounced the ball past and in between Young, who seemed to be reliving that moment as he prepared for the pitch. He goes deep now with the count 2-2. The Reds started De La Cruz before the Stewart hit. That allowed him to score from first base in the opening inning. Struck him out. First strikeout against Rocker for the Reds here tonight.
Nice.
Here is the Yellowwood bringing the lumber for tonight for Skip Schumacher's club. Rangers 8 or more hits in each of their first 7 games. First time in franchise history. They were very consistent. 16 runs in each of their first 2 3-game series. Both series victories. Josh Smith, historically a strong starter. His best numbers lifetime have come in March and April. He was 0 for 4 yesterday, lined out to left field. Another good-sized crowd here tonight. It was a sellout yesterday, just under 40,000. Ballpark opened in 2020, the truncated COVID year. That was a year after Josh Smith was both drafted and traded. He was a second rounder by the Yankees out of LSU, and that July he was part of the Joey Gallo trade. Changeup way offline for Lauder. Laps at his fingers as he goes 3-2. He began 0-2 on Smith. That hung a bit, line to right with a hop. It's hard to judge that ball right at you, and Benson adjusts for the first out.
I didn't think that ball was hit that hard when it came off the bat. It just stayed up there. Good thing Will Benson's a big fella. Showed some hops right there.
Josh Young, hard liner, caught on the backhand by a leaning Eugenio Suarez.
Better to be lucky than good. Ball's hit right on the screws. You could see it hook right off the bat.
Now Evan Carter. Carter doubled and scored, was 1 for 4 yesterday. Also had a line drive out to center. It is a noticeably larger outfield here in Texas than in Cincinnati. That means more ground to cover for Steer, Friedel, and Benson.
Little different nooks and crannies throughout that outfield wall as well.
Yeah.
Best changeup he's thrown yet.
And you think that pitch is a giant part of his arsenal?
Yeah, I just think that it's just a matter of getting rhythm, getting settled in, getting back on the mound, and being in competitive pitching mode. But you can see a lot of misses, changeup, breaking ball, and that fastball there that have been to the arm side. That's not normally the case for Lauder.
Lauder went from drafted to big leagues in a blink, but lost most of last year, only 9 1/3 in the minors. It's only his 8th career major league start. Payoff. Just beyond McLean, well-placed ground ball, base hit Evan Carter.
Now that's baseball for you. The softest hit ball of the inning is a seeing eye single right back up the box. On a backdoor breaking ball right on the outside corner.
Carter does run a bit. 14 steals, caught twice last year. Danny Jansen, strike one. Trevino showed the ball to first, and Carter scurried back in. Lauder just swiveled his head and took a peek at Carter. Jansen 2-run double yesterday, went 1 for 4. When I think of the brief time I saw Eugenio Suarez, my first year at 21 was his last with the Reds on that go-round. I remember him defensively being best going to his right, particularly making that play in foul ground and the throw across his body. He plays a little tighter to the chalk against right-handers these days.
Yeah, well, when we got him from Detroit, he was a shortstop, and he was pretty slick fielder at that point in time. And I'll be honest with you, never in my wildest imaginations, not even for a second, did I ever envision him hitting 49 home runs twice in the big leagues. He has made himself into some kind of power hitter.
Got him looking. Couple of backward Ks for Lauder and a second scoreless inning. 2-0. Reds have the lead. They have shown some aggressiveness early against Kumar Rocker.
When you know a pitcher is going to come out throwing strikes, and obviously that was the game plan for the Reds, you are aggressive early in the count. And as you mentioned earlier, John, we saw that in last night's ball game in different sets of hitters. We're seeing that up and down the lineup here tonight.
It feels like this could be a key inning if you want Rocker out of the game early. De La Cruz, Stewart, Suarez all saw him well. Swing and a miss. That's a smart move by Rocker to deliver a good changeup. And De La Cruz watched that wild pitch in the dirt that allowed McLean to scoot up. And then was able to swing away and score him from second base, and that seemed to set part of the tone in that 2-run inning.
When you have a team that comes out aggressively chasing your fastball, you've got to figure out a way to get them off of it. No better pitch than to be able to throw a changeup for a strike at the bottom of the zone.
Look at the overplay by their defense. This is as pull aggressive as I've seen a defense against De La Cruz this year. Lifts this ball routine right. Nimmo gliding in. Sal Stewart gets a rematch with Rocker. Hard RBI single his first time. Jammed flare. A race in for Nimmo. Can't get there. It skips for a hit. So after the scalded single, a soft single for Stewart, who's now 2 for 2.
When you're hot, you're hot. Ball runs in off the plate. You can see Stewart really pull his hands in there. He got enough of the barrel to it to just flare it into right field.
He covers so much of the zone, Cowboy. Eugenio Suarez. Soft hit first pitch his first time. He cuts on strike 1.
Well, Sal Stewart is going to get his walks, but he's not up there to walk. He's up there to put the barrel on the baseball. And that's a confidence that's tough to teach. It just kind of comes with you.
Looks like he's growing that mustache in again. It's a contrast when you see his headshot of the big board. He has that thick mustache that he sported earlier. He was clean shaven at the start of the year, but I wonder if that power stash is slowly coming back to life. I saw Stewart on the bus after the game last night, and he hopped onto that bus with a bit of energy and pep that he's got. Asked how he was doing, how he felt. He went 0 for. First time that he did not reach this year, and he was so pumped about the team win. Suarez left field. Langford. 2 down. Well, now Nathaniel Lowe. First pitch reached on fielder's choice his first time. His best year came as a Ranger in 2022. Career high .302 average, 27 home runs. He was a Silver Slugger that year. The Reds' last Silver Slugger, Nick Castellanos, in 2021. Now, I wasn't around for a lot of his storied career, but it blows my mind that in 17 years in the big leagues, one of the elite hitters at his position in his generation, Joey Votto, never won a Silver Slugger. He was an MVP. He was an MVP runner-up and never won a Silver Slugger.
Tell you, that just tells you the kind of first basemen that are around the game. A lot of good hitters.
Now, the Reds do have a tie to an all-time Silver Slugger record. The award was started in 1980. The record for most Silver Sluggers won by a shortstop, by far not close, Barry Larkin. 9 times he was a Silver Slugger.
He could swing it. He could wear out that right center field gap with the best of them.
Strike 2. Time for Lowe. Had a couple of homers in the LCS at 23. Got a warm ovation. Was recognized on the big board during the game last night. Good block by Jansen, who looked back Stewart, but now with the count full, he'll be off and going. Berger reminds Rocker, I'm playing off the bag now. Runner goes. This ball to left field. That's going to get down, base hit. Stewart tries for 3. Throw goes to third, and he's safe. This is an area of focus for the Reds, something they spent a lot of time on in spring training. Read batted balls and know when to grab an extra bag. Stewart shoots first to third.
Well, you have to know your own speed. And Stewart was going on the pitch. And as he rounded second, the ball wasn't quite into the glove of Langford. I think Langford was a bit surprised that the kid was taking off for third base.
Spencer Steer has popped out to second. The defensive right side is cavernous with Berger holding on low. Rocker already has 1 wild pitch in this game. Jansen is an elite blocking catcher.
Well, you were right. There is nobody between the right field line and the second base bag.
And Steer is the exact kind of hitter that could take advantage of that real estate. Grounded to third, backhanded Young, throw to first. Reds strand a couple.
Frankly, it bugged.
Don't miss a moment this season with Reds.tv. Stream the entire season within Reds territory for just $99.99. Watch games at home or on the go. Stay connected all year long. Subject to national exclusivities. Visit Reds.tv for details. Start streaming today. Red Lauder 2-0 edge. Starts his second time through the Texas lineup. Has a couple of backward Ks, including one of leadoff man Brandon Nimmo. Now, something to watch later in this game, and should he be in there again tomorrow, Nimmo uses a very different bat when he's getting ready. Appeal, no go. He's always enjoyed a weighted bat, whether that's an outright heavier bat or using a donut of some sort. But influenced by his former teammate Pete Alonso, he these days holds a sledgehammer, an 8-pound sledgehammer that has an axe-like handle similar to his bat that he says gets him ready to swing away. Here he doesn't have to swing at all. It's a 4-pitch walk. The first walk issued by Lauder, and that's, look at that thing. Like the mighty Thor getting ready to come to the plate.
Well, there's a little difference in the home run production of Brandon Nimmo and Pete Alonso.
A little bit, yeah.
But whatever floats your boat.
Strike one on Langford, who foul popped to first his first time up. Slightly larger lead for Nimmo. That is hit hard and foul out in front of a changeup there.
Yeah, Langford can spin on it.
For Lauder in his first start against Boston, there's a leadoff walk, began the third inning. Looked like command, got a little shaky for a bit. And then he ended his outing quite well. And fouled off Trevino, who needs a moment. That was the breakdown of what he delivered. He talks about it, how he rather consciously is trying to keep his pitch mix just about even. He wants to be unpredictable.
I think that's part of what makes his fastball play up. Not just the fact that it sinks to right-handers and runs away from lefties, but when you mix in a changeup and you're using a breaking ball on both sides of the plate, you can keep yourself unpredictable. But it all comes down to command and being able to throw all of those pitches somewhere around the strike zone and be competitive.
The one changeup this AB was foul, but was drilled by Langford. Slider fades away. The only runs he allowed against the Red Sox, it was a 9-pitch AB by Wilyer Abreu. It's a really good hitter. Fouled off 5 pitches. And then left side pulled a homer to right field. A long chat between Nimmo and first base coach, former Red briefly, Travis Jankowski. We got a loud positive roar from this crowd when lineups were introduced yesterday. Just missed on that changeup.
Close, but close doesn't count anymore. There it is.
That got him. Throws him on a slider challenge. ABS powered by T-Mobile.
I'm sure to the hitter that pitch appeared to be exactly where the previous pitch was. But that pitch catches the bottom of the strike zone.
Oh my gosh, look at that by a hair. Just nicked the zone.
But when you're standing in the batter's box, that last pitch looked about the same as that. Except this one was going down and away.
All 3 strikeouts for Lauder have been looking. Corey Seager has singled. And Cowboy, one of the other truisms with ABS now, ABS is calling the technical strike of those top quadrant corners that historically, if you were to plot where strikes have been called by human umpires forever,
no more higher than high pitches called for a strike.
There would never be strikes in the top left corner, the top right corner, the bottom left corner. It's more of an oval than a rectangle, the human called zone. And even for hitters who know the zone, that's got to be its own adjustment.
Well, the pitch that we've seen over the past few years was that righty on righty, high cutter at the top of the zone, just under the hands, that was being called a strike. That's gone because the strike zone is lower now. The high part of the strike zone is lower.
And commensurately, the zone's a little lower, and it depends upon body type.
Right.
But that was a chat I had with TJ Antone in spring, who's off to a fine start in the minors this year. He found that the lower threshold of ABS against a lot of hitters was right below the knee. Twisted him up on that slider. Lauder made to work some this inning. Runner goes, payoff is weakly sailed left center. Friedel coming in. Jog back for Nimmo, 2 away.
Yeah, those 2 final breaking balls in the at bat to Seager there were nothing like the pitch that he hooked into right field his first time up. Those balls had some bite and they were going down. That last pitch, a backdoor slider right on the corner.
Jake Berger is singled. Lauder with heavy slider against Seager and goes first pitch changeup, strike 1 on Berger. Benson cheats in a touch in right. To third base, Suarez on the backhand. Leadoff walk, never leaves first base.
On the road, they dress up the visiting manager's office with pictures on the wall. They do it very uniquely here in Texas. They call it characters of the game, and they're caricatures of managers. There's the wall there, and a couple of my favorites here. That is John Schneider of Toronto, Carlos Mendoza of the Mets, and for Tito Francona, there's Tito. He said he walked in and he said his is so lifelike. He thought it was a picture of him. It was a real picture. He said they're all pretty cool. And then someone said, it looks like you've airborne there. He said, well, that's actually happened in real life. Famous for his scooter, in this case, scootering from Cleveland on to Cincinnati. Truly one of the characters of the game, Terry Francona.
Oh, thank you, Jim. Yeah, those pictures are just awesome. Yeah, some managers' offices will have blown up imagery of a baseball playing card, but I think these caricatures are my favorites.
Pretty good artistry.
Just foul for Benson, who was grounded out so far today. Among Tito's many strengths, I think the way that he keeps it light and he has the back of all his players stands out most significantly. There's a sense of belief that he instills in them. Benson to left field, Langford. The Reds have not yet put their leadoff man on in this game. And Francona gave a third start on this season to Jose Trevino. He is 1 for 8 to begin the year. How about that hot corner? 3.5 pitches per plate appearance. Yeah, they've been pretty swing aggressive in general a week plus into the season. And against Rocker, that went up another level first couple of times through. But after a 2-spot in the first inning, the Reds have put men on base but not added on. Softly to third, Young. Brief word now from Miami Valley Gaming.
Get ready to get lucky at MVG. With over 2,200 of the best gaming machines, we got you covered.
TJ Friedel walked his last time. He's also grounded out. Young on the grass at third. While Friedel is squared to bunt multiple times this year, the only bunt try that I can recall was the popped into double play. Almost got him. Even Friedel looks to the dugout briefly. Do they want to challenge that he got hit by pitch? No. That was close.
It was close. I mean, if you're a hitter, you know whether you got hit or not. I mean, let's be honest.
Twisted pop against the railing. Young.
made my heart skip a beat.
Cheer on the Reds. They battle the Angels. 3-game set starts next Friday. Presented by Kroger. Zero hunger, zero waste. Reds.com/tickets. Jock Peterson leads off. He is fly to right. Well, both Rhett Lauder and Kumar Rocker, highly heralded younger arms. It's a running theme for tonight and tomorrow to close this series. Sky to center. Friedel has it red. Tomorrow, the Reds are going to see Jack Leiter, like Rocker, a Vanderbilt Commodore, while the Reds are going to throw Chase Burns.
It's kind of like the old series when Wake Forest would play Vanderbilt. I don't know that they ever played, but that's kind of what we're looking at here. The last 2 games of this series. Both Burns and Lauder from Wake Forest. And as you mentioned, the Vanderbilt duo of Rocker and Leiter.
And in the last couple of years, all 4 have been ranked by Baseball America top 30 overall prospects in the game, not just among pitchers. I mean, these are 4 of the arms expected to make major noise in the major leagues. Josh Smith was down 0-2 his first time, rallied to bring it full, and lined out to right. Lauder has struck out 3, all looking, walked 1. Two. It's driven to right center. Benson flying back. He gets to it deep on the track.
Well, that's a nice running catch by Will Benson. He got a great angle on the ball when he took off. That's a long way to go for a right fielder. I mean, Friedel's not getting to that ball.
And you mentioned, Cowboy, the idiosyncrasies of the outfield. It's probably trickiest for a right fielder trying to close ground in right center.
Just because of the way that the wall juts out to accommodate the Rangers bullpen.
I mean, it's not the triangle at Fenway, but it's not the cleanest, easiest to read. And we also saw that warning track appear to be rather slick. Noelvi Marte had a hard tumble in pursuit of a batted ball and then seemed to slip again on his throw in. So he's like a wideout in a dead sprint, having to track that down. Josh Young lined to third his first time. That ball had some tail. It was backhanded by Suarez.
Oh, Young just took a swing at a pitch that almost hit him. You get a guy to swing at a ball that is almost on his jersey and he pulls it foul down the third baseline. It's slider time. Now Lauder did throw him a slider on the next pitch, but he left it on the plate.
De La Cruz from the outfield green.
Well, that's smooth right there.
1-2-3 inning with some help from Will Benson. Rhett Lauder tossing a 3-hitter.
What a smooth defensive play, final out of the inning. This ball is in the shortstop hole. He backhands it, nice and quiet. Now you think to yourself, well, that looked like he was just lobbing it over there from second base. It just shows you the kind of arm that Ellie has. He was 3 or 4 steps into the outfield grass, and he put it right on the money.
Due up second this inning, Matt McLean takes a strike.
And the reason that I think that was a smooth play and a play that shows you Ellie is progressing from a maturity shortstop standpoint is that last year he would catch that ball and try to throw it 1,000 miles an hour across the infield. It would bounce and then you'd have some trouble. That play, he just gathered himself. He just made a nice easy throw effort wise, and it probably came out at 95 miles an hour. It looked easy.
A lot of work with Freddie Benavides on his defense. Bounce left side, sliding stop by Young. Trouble with the transfer, infield hit. Second knock tonight for McLean.
The momentary bobble by Young at third base when he was getting to his feet cost him. Makes a nice play, but as he comes up, you see him bobble it just for a split second. He just couldn't get the right grip.
Now, the last time McLean got on, a first pitch wild pitch gave him second, and Ellie De La Cruz singled him home. Young creeps at third base. That feels dangerous. Now, there is action in the Rangers bullpen. Jalen Beeks is up and warming. Young now even at third with 1 strike. De La Cruz out in front of a changeup. Rocker's best changeups tonight have been a couple of swinging strikes by De La Cruz. The Young is backed all the way up, playing shortstop with 2 strikes. That bounces home. McLean takes off. Jansen throws down. That feels dangerous. It gets away, and McLean goes to third. Why make that throw?
What a great read by McLean on the ball and the trajectory coming out of the hand of Kumar Rocker. The ball had a downward trajectory. McLean took off immediately just as the ball skipped dirt. Look at that break. And that break forces a crummy throw to second base and allows him to head to third.
And at that point, if you're Jansen, you eat it, right? You already gave up the bag. Now you gifted third with nobody out. Infield plays in. Topped foul. No fastballs yet this AB. Missed on that heater. Infield halfway against De La Cruz can be dangerous for fielders with how hard he hits the ball. Line to Seager on a skip.
Did that go between the legs of Rocker? I mean, that was a bullet.
Just about.
Oh. You don't have time to get out of the way of those.
Seager perfectly positioned. Infield remains shallow for the powerful Sal Stewart, who has a hard single and a bloop single. Both have gone opposite way. He used a disengagement already. Don't see that often. Man at third. Topped foul. Because something you were on from the start, Cowboy, the deliberate nature between pitches. You don't see many timer violations anymore. The clock is burned into the brains of most. If there is a pitcher who could be victim to a violation. It could be Kumar Rocker.
And I think that is more likely to be in an away ballpark than it is here, because this clock seems like it gets started late every single time. I mean, I'm looking for the clock to be started when he had the ball back. It did not.
Oh, 2. Good take by Stewart. Appeal confirms he did not go. Bill Miller at first base. It's only a 2-run lead, but it feels bigger with how Lauder has been pitching. Rocker might be on the ropes. Speaks by now is ready. To right field. Nimmo.
Oh,
just foul. Oh, that was close.
just sliced foul right at the last second.
And yet again, Rocker is shying away from the fastball. It has been all sliders here against Sal Stewart. Stewart rips through a high heater. Second strikeout for Rocker.
That pitch is well above the zone, but it looks so good if you're Sal Stewart. That'll never be called a strike. Not in this day and age. But it is quite enticing with 2 strikes.
Infield backs up. Eugenio Suarez has reached on fielder's choice, and he is flied out. Reds so far 1 for 5 with men in scoring position today. They entered a baseball worst 163 a week into the year.
And I'm sure folks at home saw that swing from Stewart and think, how in the world did he swing at that pitch? It was over his head. The reason that a hitter swings at that pitch with a runner at third and less than 2 outs is you're looking for a ball that's elevated that you can lift into the outfield. A fly ball to any one of these 3 outfielders scores McLean. And even though this lead seems big because of the way Lauder is pitching, this is a bit of a momentum transfer if Rocker's able to strand that runner at third base.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes, and he does. That's strike 3. Suarez disagrees. We don't have appeal on check swings with ABS yet. 2-0 Reds, bottom 5. Rhett Lauder, for the most part, getting ahead. Evan Carter, his 17th batter faced. 11 times it's been a first pitch strike.
Important batter here in this inning. Even though Carter's hitting in the 8th spot, he is known as a hitter in this Texas lineup that works the count.
Does have a single so far in this game.
And the problem with the bottom of the order being productive, as we saw in last night's game, you get those bottom guys on, then you're rolling back to the top of the order. The reason you hit at the top of the order is you're a better hitter. You don't want to get to those guys with runners in scoring position.
3-1 here. The only walk for Lauder, a leadoff walk that began the 3rd. There's a walk to begin the 5th. Danny Jansen has struck out looking. Runner goes, great jump, and this pitch is shot to left center. That's going to force retreat by Carter, handled by Steer.
That was a big jump by Carter. He had stolen second base. He would have stolen second base easily if that ball's not hit in the air.
So now the leadoff man, who's been getting on base a lot a week into the year, Brandon Nimmo, a walk in a backward K today. Suarez on the grass at 3rd. First pitch to right field. Benson, curling corner, has it. Man, he has covered ground in right field tonight.
Yes, he has. You look at the difference between that catch and where he caught the ball earlier out in front of the Rangers bullpen. That is a lot of territory. Normally you expect that kind of range out of your center fielder. The Reds are getting it out of their right fielder here tonight.
Dangerous hitter Wyatt Langford has foul popped and struck out looking today. Made hard contact all 4 times yesterday. Changeup strike. Remember, he did have a foul ball earlier tonight that I think is the hardest hit ball in the game. It was almost 110.
He's got some big pop.
By the way, AAA, they ended early due to rain in the 6th. Louisville fell to Iowa. Cubs Reds 8-6. But Reese Hines homered again. He's got 4. He's hitting 400. Blake Dunn, a base hit, is hitting 414. This is video game.
Yeah, the numbers for Reese since he was sent down last year, second half in AAA, spring training, and now to begin this 2026 year, undeniable.
And that's the good, tough decisions the Reds should be having over the course of this year. They have more depth at AAA, pitching and position players.
Since I've been back here.
It goes back that far?
Oh, yeah.
So 20 years. Got him.
Well, that's a good pitch. Struck him out on that same pitch prior at bat.
4 strikeouts for Rhett Lauder, all looking. Cincinnati Reds baseball is presented by the Christ Hospital Network. If it's surgery, it's at Christ, the Christ Hospital Network. And by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have the yellow tag, you don't want it. At Globe Life Field, Reds took the opener yesterday. They lead the middle match 2-0 in the 6th. They're now into the pen. Left on left, Jalen Beeks against Nathaniel Lowe. Strike one. Our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. Beeks' first action since a couple of scoreless innings Monday against Baltimore.
Beeks has got that left-handed delivery, but it's a little awkward. There's a little hesitation as he takes the ball out of the glove and begins to come to the plate. And if you haven't faced him before, you have a tendency to step a little bit too soon, and he gets you off balance just on delivery alone.
Now, ERAs can be deceiving for relievers, but the Reds have handled Beeks fairly well. He has seen them 11 times, twice as an opener, and over 6 ERA head-to-head against the Reds. Grounded softly right side. Spencer Steer has popped out, grounded out.
Looks like Dane Myers is going to hit for Benson. Benson's been our best defensive player here tonight.
And that probably means a shuffle all around. Where Myers has been inserted so far this year, he often goes to center, Friedel to left, and then Steer to right, where he hasn't played a ton. 0-2. Beeks on that extreme third base side elevates to Steer.
It almost looks like as he comes to the plate, he's trying to put the ball up under his armpit on the backside, and then he just snaps it to the plate.
Softly bounced to short. Seager coming in, could not get a clean throw off, and there's an infield hit for Steer.
Caught it right off the end of the bat, but you can see Beeks slips as he comes off the mound. The ball gets by him. That's a tough play for Seager.
So now with Dane Myers announced as a pinch hitter, Beeks gets a visit. Now Beeks has been a spot opener, can give some length. I would imagine down. They want to get a little bit of innings out of Beeks, at least this inning. There's been nobody warming behind him. Myers has handled lefties fairly well on his young career. He was 0 for 4 yesterday, did line out to center field.
Tell you got to hand it to Kumar Rocker. It looked like the Reds were going to put him to bed early tonight, and he was able to rebound and keep the Reds off the board the last 4 innings out there.
He left 2 aboard in the 3rd, had a perfect 4th, and worked around a leadoff man that reached and got to 3rd with nobody out.
Ooh, that's a pretty good pitch.
That's sent to center field. Carter going way back. At the wall, makes the catch. Good ride for Myers. Steer was a top second and scampers back to first. That's about as long and out as you'll hit in this ballpark.
Right at that 410 mark. I thought for a split second it was going to get out of here after the way Carter went after it. Right up against the wall.
Jose Trevino.
You think to yourself, well, shouldn't Steer have tagged from first base there because the ball was so deep? No, because if the ball hits the wall, there's nobody to cover center field. He's going to score from second base. That's where he was standing.
Young hugs the line at third. Remember, Trevino got off to that great start a month plus into last year, and he had a ton of doubles, and a lot of that was just fair pulled contact down the third baseline. Rangers definitely know the scout with how they shade him. And they've pitched him in a lot. Rocker did too. What does that tell you?
Well, if you've got a guy that's a dead pull hitter and you can get him to swing that pitch that's in or off the plate in, he's just going to pull it foul. If you pitch him out over the plate, that's when you run into the barrel, into the gap.
Trevino asks for time. Flared down the right field side, foul. It's also clear that Steer does not have a great read on Beeks. He had a pretty light lead off the bag, and on that last pitch, he took a heavy half step back to the bag.
Yeah, that pause and the way that he holds that ball up under his armpit, that's a tough read because you're not really sure if that body lean is coming at you or if it's going to the plate.
Up the middle, caught on the line by Smith. Couple of line drives, Reds strand him in. At each and every home game, if a Red hits the Toyota Hit and Win sign, one lucky fan wins a new built-in-the-USA Toyota Tundra. Register for the Tundra Home Run Challenge. Your chance at any Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. But Dane Myers indeed stays in the game in center. The dominoes fall in familiar fashion. T.J. Friedel now in left. Spencer Steer in right. First pitch to Corey Seager bounced foul. He is singled and flied out against Rhett Lauder.
And with that first pitch from Lauder, Connor Phillips is getting loose in a hurry in the Reds bullpen.
Now, we were just talking coming back from break 0-2, and I asked you, what are you thinking in terms of Lauder? This is pretty much what you had called for.
Yeah, I just think you have to have somebody up behind him right now.
Stewart.
Because you don't want to put yourself in a position where if you have a base hit or if you have a misplay and a runner reaches, that one swing of the bat can tie the ball game with a pitcher that's tired. So that's a pretty big out getting Seager there.
Yeah, very efficiently on 3 pitches. Jake Berger is singled. He has bounced out to third. One other wrinkle, by the way, about the outstanding start for Rhys Hines. Notice where he's been playing. A lot of center field.
Well, he's got great speed. He covered a lot of territory, and he's got a phenomenal arm.
0-2 quickly. Berger, after a brief time, back in.
I mean, Rhys has already shown that he can play up here. The question is, can he be consistent as an everyday player at the big league level? And I think that's, he's trying to answer that the best way that he can. You can only do that by getting on base in AAA.
Long run for Myers, the call and catch. Rangers have another lefty up, Jacob Latz, who has been at times a 5th starter. It was seemingly between Latz and Kumar Rocker. And Latz got those fill-in innings when Jacob deGrom got scratched first turn of the rotation. Strike 1 on Peterson, who was flied out twice. And Cowboy with Lauder and
best inning yet.
Yeah, I mean, he probably earns another inning, right?
I don't think so.
I think this is it. Left field, Friedel, longer run, foul ground, falling down the stabbing grab. Disbelief for De La Cruz with his hand atop his hat. How did he make that play?
I don't know. That was a heck of a catch.
And you hope he's all right. A little ginger coming off the field. Still learning left field some. On the stumble, he stays with it.
File by 4:15.
TJ Friedel, a nice defensive play to end last half inning to lead off the visiting 7th.
I mean, what a heck of a recovery. His foot comes out from underneath him, just like we saw with Marte yesterday. But look at where the positioning of that glove is to be able to have some body control and still make the snag. That one's going to hurt when he gets in the shower. That's going to be a lot of burn.
Jacob Latz is in. Square to bunt, yanked back.
Got zero attention from the athletic training staff and took more grief from his teammates than perhaps the ground itself.
Sniper.
1-0. Well, Graham Ashcraft now warms in the Reds pen. Now Latz is more normally a higher leverage reliever, and here are the Rangers using him down 2-0 in the 7th. Check swing, he wins. And I have to think his appearance is chiefly, as most teams have tried to do, about Ellie De La Cruz, who to his credit so far this year actually has a higher average and more homers batting right-handed than he does left-handed.
And that ultimately will be what shuts down opposing managers bringing in a left-hander to face Friedel to start an inning. How many times did we see last year an opener that was left-handed that started the ball game specifically to face Friedel and De La Cruz because McLean was not hitting at the time and they didn't worry about it.
Outfield cheats in noticeably. Friedel does not have an extra base hit yet this year. Looking.
That one fooled him, but he knew it immediately.
McLean 2 hits tonight, a run scored. Bounces home. Three and 0. McLean's been getting on base a lot.
Right now he's got to be saying to himself, please throw me that pitch again.
Lifted right side, Nimmo. So now De La Cruz, the critical reason why the left-handed Latz is in. De La Cruz, an RBI hit, a run scored tonight. He's got 3 homers on the young year. 2 have come batting right-handed.
One of them came last night, got out of here in the snap of a finger.
It was a laser to left. Looks like Ashcraft is ready in the Reds pen. Froze him on that curveball. All soft here, change up and consecutive yackers.
And that's nothing more than a pitcher just trying to take the hitter's aggressiveness away from him by using changeups and breaking balls early in the count and surprise you with that pitch.
Swing and a miss at the curveball. Latz does his job. Top of the order in order.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Some of the big sights tonight, our Toyota game summary. 6 scoreless from Rhett Lauder. Ellie De La Cruz, a ribby hit and a run scored. Sal Stewart, a couple of knocks, has driven one in. Rhett Lauder really set the tone. 3 hits in his 6 innings, and Cowboy, the best first pitch strike outing in his career. Almost 75% first pitch strike.
And he was using all different pitches. Not only using the changeup, which we've seen a lot, but his slider got better as the game went on, and his fastball location seemed to be pristine from pitch number 1.
And consider that 4 of the top 5 starters in the majors last year were in the mid-upper 60s first pitch strike. Good is normally in the high 50, low 60% range. He was ahead a lot. So he leaves in line for a win. Graham Ashcraft is in for a 2nd straight day.
Ashcraft pitched in last night's ball game. First batter he faced was the 9-hole hitter, and Danny Jansen struck him out. But the triple to Nimmo that just kind of feathered down the right field line cost him a run.
He went triple RBI double to Nimmo Langford. And Cowboy, both hits were on pitches way out of the zone. He'll face the left-handed Josh Smith, who was lined to right twice. Check swing, appeal, he went. Cutter strike.
Well, you can see Josh Smith knows the ball is going to eat him up inside. He was trying to get started early.
Seemed to go there. Appeal says yes. And Cowboy, I'm not sure if it's Freudian, but as you look at the printed scorecard made by Texas PR, they list Graham Ashcraft as a left-handed pitcher. He does pitch like that.
Those statistics.
He does annihilate lefties, and that ball tattooed early and foul.
That's what Josh Smith has been looking for since he walked to the plate. The ball middle in that he could turn on. He's a tad early there.
Dribble. In between. Trevino off balance. Got him. Oh, great play.
That was unbelievable. Oh.
The best defensive play of the night. The Reds backstop who came up a Texas Ranger.
Trevino made that play like a shortstop charging a ground ball on a slow roller. He goes to get it, takes charge, spins, fires blindly, right on the money. And he's carrying all that equipment with him. Nice play.
Tools of brilliance. Check swing definitely went. Strike one on Josh Young.
I mean, this is one for a pitcher. You're just like, well, I'm just getting out of the way. Good thing.
By the way, Rhett Lauder now has a 1.30 ERA, 8 starts into his big league career, the best by a Red since earned runs became a stat in 1913. It is the 5th best by any major league pitcher in his first 8 starts. Number 1 on the list, Fernando Mania. Fernando Valenzuela had a .50 when he came up with the Dodgers in 1981, 8 starts in.
And I would think for Lauder that the more he gets to see these big league hitters and has them register in his head their swings, he's going to have an even better idea about what to do when they come to the plate.
Ashcraft thought he had him there.
You can watch all the video that you want, and you can have all the scouting report and talk about hitters, but there's nothing better than seeing the swing from the mound and knowing what your stuff plays at.
Oh, reaching swing at that slider. That is nasty. To get a swing on a pitch that dives like that.
Well, you know your stuff is nasty when you get a little league swing.
On the near miss the pitch before, Trevino gave a knowing nod to Ashcraft, seemingly saying, like, your stuff is playing, just keep pitching. Evan Carter has singled and walked on a night the Ranger offense has been held in check. Has been able to reach twice.
Well, I'll be honest with you, John. If I'm throwing 98, 99, I don't need anybody to nod. I already know my stuff plays. You don't need anybody to tell you.
And this is another example. We've seen a few of them on the young year. Ashcraft has pitched his way into that firefighter role, that big bridge role, that multi-inning role. Tony Santillan filled that spot often last year very well. If Ashcraft can do this for large chunks of the year, allow Santillan to become a true 8th inning guy, it aids the whole bullpen.
Well, what it does is it gives you an opportunity to use some of your better relievers when you're down 1 late. And you can just kind of mix and match that as far as the hitters go from Tito Francona's perspective. I mean, most of the time you're using your 8th and 9th inning guy when you have a 1-run to 3-run lead.
Payoff. Missed. 2-out walk to Carter. That's the 3rd walk drawn by a Rangers hitter today. Danny Jansen will stand in. He is struck out looking and on 1 pitch fly to left. Carter Baumler has been warming in the Rangers pen. Ambushes a first pitch again and fouls it away. Now the Reds bench all right-handed hitters. Ke'Bryan Hayes, Noelvi Marte, and Tyler Stevenson. Now the most likely spot the Reds could consider hitting at some point at this stage of the game, either the catcher spot or the DH spot. More shallow left center. Myers had it read cleanly. Ashcraft works around the walk, a scoreless 7.
IQ app.
Cincinnati Reds baseball is presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare and the Young Family Cancer Center, a regional leader in cancer care. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Reds, the official source for Cincinnati Reds gear. Back in Texas, 2-0. Reds trying to add on. First pitch miss by Carter Baumler. Originally a Rule 5 pick from Baltimore to Pittsburgh. Was acquired from the Pirates by the Rangers in December. Stewart slaps this to right. And he had a very special acknowledgement of his journey to the big leagues coming from his manager in a spring training outing. Told him right there on the spring mound, you're going to the show. 3 days later, he made his major league debut with a scoreless inning in Philadelphia. Before this year, he had not pitched above Double-A.
Well, every player that's down there with a uniform on can tell you when they were told they were coming to the big leagues. Ain't nothing like it.
What was your word like? How did that come to you?
I was in San Francisco. I was playing at Scottsdale Stadium. That was our spring training facility. And I'm watching all of our top prospects go in the office and come out with tears in their eyes. And I could hear the veteran guys next to me saying, well, that's it. Everybody's gone. We got to be making a trade. I'm thinking, well, I'm not gone yet. I'm still here. Our general manager was Al Rosen at the time. And he was steadily trying to play it off like, well, you had a good spring, but, and he kept saying, but. Finally, Roger Craig couldn't hold it in anymore. He said, but you made the team. That was as a non-roster invitee to camp.
Quick phone call thereafter?
A lot of phone calls.
Swing and a miss, curveball. It's Eugenio Suarez. So he's now 0 for 4. 2 up, 2 down.
You can see right away from Baumler what got him to this position, and it is that pitch right there, the hook. He was steadily feeding it to Sal Stewart, and he puts Eugenio Suarez away with the same pitch.
Nathaniel Lowe, a base hit on a 1 for 3 night. And when Baumler was made a 5th-round pick by the Orioles, he got tested right away. He was in instructs, his second bullpen, an instructional play after he had signed, torn UCL. Had Tommy John in October of 2020. Played football along with baseball in his high school days. Lowe seems to see that stuff much better ahead here, 3-1.
Lowe's pretty quiet as a hitter as far as that front step is concerned. That's why he was driving the ball to left field earlier. And you hang one of those breaking balls over the plate, it'll show you why you shouldn't.
Top to first, backing up Berger. 1-2-3. Bullpen for Texas has been terrific. The lead still sits at 2.
made my heart skip a beat.
Elk and Elk injury report for today. That's Caleb Ferguson, offseason signee, left-handed reliever, out with an oblique injury. He's out to 105 feet, long tossing. Right now, tentatively, a bullpen scheduled for Thursday. They may be able to get him ready without a rehab stint. That's up in the air, but the news continues to be positive on the southpaw.
Appreciate that, Jim. Tony Santillan went to high school just a few miles from this ballpark, on in his hometown for a second straight day. Defensive change. Eugenio Suarez out of the game. Key Brian Hayes is in, playing third base. The Reds bench is now Marte and Stevenson. Nimmo jammed. Top of the order here for Santillan, trying to preserve this 2-run edge.
You know, he talked so much in spring training about how Sal Stewart was going to handle playing at first base, a position that he has not played very much. The best compliment that you can pay to that kid, you don't even realize he's there. That's how well he's played over there. But you sure realize he's got a bat. I mean, when you make everything look routine, you don't think that much about it. No worries.
Oh, 1 to Langford. It's seemingly been a slightly slower ramp up, build up for both Santillan and Pagan. What have you seen in those two?
I think they're not there yet, but they're getting there. They're getting there quickly. And that's part of adrenaline, getting stretched out, game situations. Part of it is getting hit a little bit, and you have to really reach out. You start driving that ball to the plate when that bat starts hitting the ball.
The velocity for both had been down some, still seems to be down a bit. But the command for Santillan has been a lot sharper on the fastball. The breaking ball, I think, had already been there command-wise. Defensive swing at that heater.
You know, I don't always just look at velocity. I look at hitters' reaction. And if the combined stuff between breaking ball and fastball is enough to keep the hitter off balance, then the stuff will come as you lengthen out during the season.
Oh, got him looking, frozen.
I mean, this pitch right here will tell you all you need to know about the fastball of Tony Santillan. Is it good enough? Ask Langford.
The karate chop by Todd Tishner. Now Corey Seager, who singled his first time. He's 1 for 3 tonight. 1 for 7 on the series. Strike 1. He is the Rangers' best bat. Had homered in back-to-back games entering this set. Foul that one off himself. Both Tyler Alexander and Robert Garcia, double barrel, getting ready in the Rangers' pen. Those are the 2 remaining lefties in the Texas pen. Driven to right center. Steer has it. Top of the order, in order. Quick work from Tony Santillan.
showdown.com/Reds.
Brandon Phillips, Aaron Harang, Reggie Sanders, Lou Piniella selected as the Reds Hall of Fame class of 2026. They'll be honored before the game April 25th, part of the Reds Hall of Fame induction celebration presented by PNC. Get tickets for this historic weekend now, reds.com/tickets. The Reds offense in the very first frame tonight.
Yeah, that pitch that De La Cruz hit, it looked like it was a foot off the outside corner, but he made it happen, both with the bat and his feet.
First pitch swing and a fly ball left. That's going to be fair and down for a Steer hit. Gets all over Tyler Alexander with a standing double to begin the ninth.
Back-to-back nights with 2 hits for Spencer Steer. I'd say he's found his timing.
Entered the series 1 for 17. He's now 4 for 8 on the set. And that could be a big insurance run. Do you bunt Dane Myers here? I would not. I'd have him swing away.
Yeah.
Corners pinch just a bit. He takes strike 1. I think he's a good enough contact hitter that even with an out, he can get him over anyway. I don't want to give up that out in case he might score him. Young now backs up at third. Bigger lead for Steer.
Yeah, I think you take a chance to try to blow him out of the water here.
The Reds had a few chances to do that against Kumar Rocker in the 3rd, in the 5th. They could not add on. Grounded left side. That's going to free Steer. Seager, 1 away. Jose Trevino 0 for 3 today. He is 1 for 10 to begin the year, looking for his first RBI this season. Softly lined to second his last time. Outfield creeps in some. Alexander in his 200th career outing.
He's got a couple of saves in the books already here in 2026. But you don't pitch in 3 days here early in the season. You got to pitch when maybe it's not a save situation.
Changeup lands for a strike. Only had 1 save lifetime entering this year. That came against the A's with Milwaukee. That was in April last season. That's when he went the final 3 innings scoreless. Now, the Reds have responded to some early, and emphasize early, we're a week plus into the year, questions. Some of the struggling sticks have gotten going. Steer and Stevenson this series. It's been a bugaboo to get hits with men in scoring position, and it won't come here. Misses on the changeup, strikeout for Alexander.
Threw the first changeup for a strike right on the outside corner. That one he started in that spot and just let it filter away.
Young on the grass at third. Friedel has walked. He's 0 for 3. One and one. No ribbies yet for Friedel. The Reds are 1 for 9 men in scoring position tonight. Texas is 0 for 1. There have been a lot of chances to expand this lead that the Reds grabbed before the Rangers even stood at the plate to swing. Emilio Pagan is ready in the Reds pen. Can Steer be an add-on run? To second, Smith. They'll strand him. Semisonic into 2026. Emilio Pagan is on. He seeks the save. The Reds look for the series.
Yogi.com.
Three-hitter in progress, begun by Rhett Lauder. All singles by the Texas Rangers, all with 2 outs. Now up to bottom 9, Emilio Pagan. Jake Berger, 1 for 3, ground out, fly to center. Strike 1 and a dance at third for Corey Ragsdale. Third base coach had to do a hop.
8-9-1. Pagan faced last night, hoping not to get to any of those hitters here tonight.
Twisted swing on that upstairs fastball. A patented pitch when Pagan is really with it. Got a lot of ride on that fastball up last year. Up and in.
Close.
Reds struggled in tighter games last year. In games decided by 2 runs or less, they had the 22nd best record in the big leagues. They're trying to go to 5-0 in games decided by 2 or less this year. That's in. That's a leadoff walk. Tying run comes to the plate. First walk for Berger in 35 plate appearances on the year. He's aboard for Jock Peterson, who's 0 for 3 today. He's 0 for on the season.
And he had him 0-2.
Peterson 0 for 4 lifetime against Pagan. Trevino goes out for a chat as Pagan smooths the darkened dirt on the mound.
It looks like Pagan's just overthrowing a little bit. Trying to add a little bit to that fastball, but coming out a little different. You know, I'm wondering, John, why the Reds are not playing Stewart behind Berger at first base, especially with Peterson at the plate.
You got a lefty who tends to pull.
Well, Berger's not going anywhere. Not when you got a power bat at the plate. They're not going to take a chance on him getting thrown out.
(1-0) out in front. There, the split from Pagan.
If you play Stewart right behind him, at least it gives you a little extra chance for some room to cover that first base hole on a pitch like that.
A double play would be sweet. De La Cruz hits the bag. Turn 2.
You called it. You walk the leadoff batter in the ninth, and then you get this. Oh, Ellie. That's nice.
And now an exhale, Cowboy, because the tying run's not at the plate. He's on deck. Josh Smith is lined out twice. He's probably had the biggest contrast in contact on the night. He was robbed on a nice play by Benson earlier, but also had the dribbler that was the best defensive gem of the night turned by Trevino. Up and away. Red Lauder pumped strikes, particularly early in counts. Delivered 6 scoreless. The bullpen from there has largely taken the baton. Graham Ashcraft, Tony Santillan each had a scoreless and hitless inning. Fouled back. Pagan a strike away.
Can't beat me with one swing. Here it is.
Called a ball challenge. That is a ball just barely below the zone.
I think that even surprised the hitter Josh Smith.
ABS powered by T-Mobile, 7/10 of an inch low. I think you're right. Smith started to angle toward the dugout like it was ball game.
Yeah, that pitch cut the plate in half. Just a tad down.
So now Josh Young to the plate as the tying tally. No doubles at third. Hayes deep and near the chalk. Young is 0 for 3. Line out, ground out, strikeout. He began his year 0 for 18.
Young's only got one thing on his mind. That's trying to leave.
0-2. Aren't many times we've seen Ke'Bryan Hayes that deep and near the chalk line at third base. Down and in. Grounded to short, backhand skips on De La Cruz. Through second, Smith. Barehand Friedel fire to second, first and third. Base hit for Young. Third base runner to reach this inning.
Well, when that ball hit the dirt, it took off. Just had some serious topspin on it. Zelli looked like he was in a decent position to catch that ball, but the ball just made a huge hop right at the last on it as it hit the ground.
Young is out. Ezekiel Duran is in to run. He is the tying run at first base. As loud as the 36,000 plus have been today. Evan Carter. Aboard all 3 times he's been up today. Oh, 0-2. Pagan, to his credit, has largely been ahead of most hitters on the inning. But 3 have reached a double play, erased one of them. Sam Maul is now warming in the Reds bullpen. Tying runs are on. Winning run is at the plate. Struck him out. Pagan closes the door. The Reds take the day, and they have secured the series. A bit of a bumpy 9th, but a 4-hit shutout for the Redlegs as they take it in Texas 2-0.
As long as you get them out and they don't score, it's a save in my book.
The lone strikeout of the outing for Emilio Pagan. He cuts down Carter. Now, Pagan's 3rd save of the year, and the Reds are now 5-0 at games decided by 2 runs or less.
That's the big thing, John. Being able to win these ball games. We talked about that all throughout the first 3 months of the season last year. The Reds just had a difficult time winning 1-run or 2-run ball games, and they've been able to do that here early without the benefit of a heck of an offense. They've just had certain guys show up on certain nights, and it's been enough.
No, the Reds play mistake-free baseball. No errors in any of their first 8 games this year. It's a giant part of winning close games.
Yes, it is. That's how you have to brother-in-law a little bit offensively, but you've also got to be able to pitch and catch the ball. The Reds have done that.
Pagan with the punch out to punctuate it. He strands 2. The Reds take it by 2. Post game still to come deep in the heart.